Alright, it's the 8th of May, or the 8th of the 5th, and so today I'm basically trying to work out a problem that I've had for a little while. Is these hinges, they all sit well in their corner. The problem is they don't sit well together. See, if I line up that along there and up this end, right, as you can see, this one is not, well, that corner's in but this one's not. But then I push this corner in, if I can do that, and that pushes that one out, that one over there. So I think it's mainly this corner and that corner that are the problems. So I think this might actually be slightly diamond shaped. So somehow it would have somehow gotten slightly bent from a square, which means those two corners be closer than these two. Hold on, we'll just measure that. Get out a tape measure. If you're wondering why I'm always wearing glove, it's just because working with like angle grinders and Dremels, I prefer to have a glove on my left hand to guide it so I can have it closer. So the corner here is 2140. As you can see there. Corner here is, if I can get that on there. See, it's only a small amount, but it's 2137. 2137. So it's off just. I'm just going to measure this one and make sure that this is 2140. There we go. Yeah, 2140. Yeah, so it's off by a tiny amount. Just thinking, like, I need to bend it 3 mils. But how am I going to bend it 3 mils? Because 3 mils is bugger all. I could put a strap there, but and then just ratchet it tighter. I think that's not going to work very well because it's just going to put enough force on it to bend it, because it's not actually going to bend at the welds, it's going to bend at the pipes. So is there actually, this is just slightly annoying. So every time I push that out, that one in, that one goes out. So if I line this line up, what happens here? So if that one is lined up, and I hold that there, move this one, there's that massive gap over there. So these two are level, and hopefully they're going to stay there. Just while I go around and look at the others. Yeah, so it's closer to us because there's that gap there. And it's twisted. And it's twisted over here. Yeah, fuck. How can I go about doing this? It's like, it's enough, like, if you hold it there, like, if I pull those two into place, and then push this into place, I can do it and hold it there, and it kind of sits there, but it's just sitting there. It's like a bit awkward. So it's like, if I did nothing, it would be alright, like, because this is going to have clamps on it. It's going to have these type of clamps. I bought these, but these were really small because I ordered them online, so they doing some tricky thing. For some reason they weren't the size I ordered. You can't send them back, which is a bugger. So I don't know what I'm going to use these for, but these are like really, really small. As you can see, that's basically a finger. But it'll be a larger version of that on all 4 corners. That'll hold this down, and that would hold it in place, but I want to make it look good, and this doesn't want to help me do that. So what can I do? Because like obviously I can start basically just put these 2 level where they want to be, and then just grind off here until it fits, which is a possibility, but I don't really want to do that because then this isn't level. So that's a problem I'm going to have to work out some way, and then I need to get 6 bolts. So I want to have a way to hold all of these up, but I want to be able to undo individuals while the other one stays there. So I think I'm going to do a bolt here, bolt there where the G-clamp is, and a bolt in the center on both sides. So I need 6 bolts and nuts, and preferably like pretty easy to put on like by hand. So maybe like wing bolts, not too sure. Yeah, and then my next job is working out how to make those sheets properly conform to here. I'm thinking about putting, not sure yet, but I'm thinking about putting a bar in here that sits, this one's obviously too long, but it'll sit like that. So it'll be slightly off to give me like a line, like a corner here that it can follow. But I'm also tempted to do something like having just a strip of metal that follows this curve to there. And then I'll obviously have to do that on the doors as well. But I gotta think about how to do that, because last time I tried to bend it over here, as you can see it bent there and there, but in the middle it just kind of stayed. It stayed and just bent in and didn't look very good. Might actually try something. Give me a few minutes. I might try and see if I can make that actually a line on the edge of the bench there using some clamps. We'll see you guys in a few minutes. Alright, so 8th of May, I think still. Anyway, I found this double-sided tape. This is the double-sided tape I was talking about. It's quite thick. As you can see, it's like 1 millimeter thick, and it's very, very sticky. And so I'm going to try and put this on there using it. I'm going to clamp it just to like get it to stick there, and then I'm going to see what kind of, like, I'm basically going to do what I will do to the actual ones. So I'm going to put tape there, and then I'm going to silicone it, then I'm going to leave it for a day and 24 hours, let it all dry, let it all sink up, see how it looks, and actually how it is, like if I can just peel it off, how much abuse it can take. I'm going to get a heat gun and put to it. Basically it's going to be an experiment with this old piece of composite that I don't care about, as to how it's actually going to stand up to the punishment I'm going to put it through, and whether or not this method of attaching it isn't going to work. If that doesn't work, I might just get like really big rivets and rivet it all. So yeah, let's start taping. Alright, so I've just got all this tape in place. Okay, so my next job, well, first off I roughed up the surface with a coarse angle grinder over there, just so it sticks better. Take this tape off, stick it on, clamp it down, and then put silicone from over there. Actually, I'll go get the silicone gun now into the cracks to make sure it's all sealed, airtight and waterproof. Where is the silicone gun? This doesn't have silicone in it. High strength liquid nails. Alright. so give me like 2 seconds. Take out the liquid nails and pull in roof and guttering silicone, so it's a little bit stronger than your average silicone, but oh no, it's stronger. There isn't that much left in it, there's about that much. Oh well, I'll obviously buy more if this turns out to be the best method. So yeah, I'm about to unravel all of this, stick that on, clamp it in place, and then I'll get back to you guys. Alright, still the 8th of May. Okay, so I have, in fact, it's just a shoddy job, just to do it quickly. The inside looks a lot better. Silicone all around the edges, tapes there. I'm going to leave that for 24 hours, let it all dry. Obviously I was just generous with the silicone, because silicone, while it sticks really well, petrol dissolves it, so it's also really easy to get off if you need it off. Like, it'll stay in there and keep that waterproof, and at no point is someone going to be rubbing it with petrol, so it should be fine. It's just for now, yeah. Alright, so it's still the 8th of May. So that's sitting there to dry as before. So I talked about earlier the bolts that I'm going to put there. Anyway, I got this box of bolts out and I was looking at all the bolts and stuff and how it would work. And I've decided to go against bolts, because if I do bolts, what will happen is, even with the nylock nut over time, it'll just get to the point where the vibrations will like undo the bolt and then it'll fall. However, if I put a rod like this with a weld on the end of it, right, and I've got a hole there that I've filed out a key in, I'm just trying to make this fit currently, so that's pretty standard, so we'll just make the hole a little larger. So just trying to do that currently, because if that works, then I can have 3 of these, which would be a lot easier to put in and stay there. Be a lot more sturdy. However, are you gonna work? No, you need a little bit more off of this. However, the problem with that is that I need some way to hold these kind of in place so that they don't somehow rattle and jiggle out of here. Obviously the key would be like on the top, and then so gravity would put the key on the bottom when I do it actually, but I'm just trying to make it work. Oh, it's going in. There's my hammer. A little bit of coaxing, a little bit more, maybe a bit more. Jesus. There we go. So that works in there. It should come out and it locks. So I think that's how I'm going to go about doing all this. Alright, so I've made it so it fits a lot better now. It just slides in and it locks, and then obviously you rotate it and it slides out. So I think I'm going to go with method like that in there. I just got to work out now a way of holding this kind of in place and static.